Morning, guys. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all doing all right? Over here. Hope y'all doing good this morning. Wanted to come on for a little bit to catch up on a little stuff. A lot going on in this big world. Start by saying my condolences to the family of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. May justice come. As we learned so much craziness about this case, from looks like family taking money to almost want to say, like, if it all turns out to be true, that she had been home multiple times since running away, well, make that make sense. You know, I always said money was involved, right? Remember we talked about that, I think, in the second video about people taking money. You know, it's sad, right? When you think about that, that's your daughter, and you're gonna take money. There's a lot more to this picture than we know. But at least we know now that she was not pregnant, thank God. That's something that everybody, I think, wondered. Even me, because, you know, we have heard a few things, but, you know, you can't always believe everything you hear. I think we know that. We have to really focus on what's being said, and we know most likely she did not get in there by herself. You know, I don't know what the motive is. I don't know what caused the problem. You know, jealousy most likely is what it seems to be pointing at right now, is jealousy, some form of jealousy. But the crazy thing is if y'all remember Manta, you remember when Manta went missing? And everybody pointed the finger at the husband, and they didn't do nothing to the husband, and then finally, after checking his Tesla, they made the arrest. You know, Tesla seems to be like some kind of machine that is a big old rat, right? It rats on you. These people want to buy these expensive cars, and they get ratted on by the car. I think that the car will most likely lead them to the truth of who drove this car last. But, you know, the thing is, when you got money, you pay anybody to drive your car. That's what they're faced with, and I understand the quietness. The quietness is about the money. It's about somebody paying people to do their dirty work, and I think they're trying to check every avenue and cross every T and dot every I to make sure that they get justice for this young lady. A child, she's a teen. She was, what, 13, 14? I mean, golly, that's a baby. She would have been 15, but I don't think she made it to her birthday. Although birthday year before, she was seen outside her parents' home after being reported running away, missing. And then she shows back up, then she goes to a family function. I know y'all have all seen the footage. It's out there. I have it on my other phone, but of her, you know, I think that's an uncle that she's hugging, and you don't really see her face, just kind of from the side and the back. You can just tell by her hair. She did have beautiful hair, I will say that. Those tighter curls, now I think it was natural, but maybe it wasn't, but it looked natural. Those lion waves, those are rare. Very rare. But she still didn't deserve this. She didn't deserve to be put in the trunk of a car. Yeah, she might have been a fighter, a stand-up. She had to grow up way too young. Way too early she had to grow up. Seems like she had to grow up way, way too soon. You know, she might have been 13, but going on 20, you know. I don't think she had the best home life. I think a lot's going to come out. Dirty little secrets always come out, right? the main focus here is for justice. We know she didn't do this to herself and put herself in the car. So who did it? Why? That's the question. Why? What happened? Did she seems like a very aggressive, I'm not going to say violent, but had to stand her ground, used to having to stand her ground. Probably, CPS probably should have been involved in her life, most likely, it looks like. I don't mean that in a bad way, I'm just saying, I guess there's really no good way to look at it, but evidently her mom and them did not treat her that well. You know, kind of like abuse, it looks like, maybe in the home. That's what's being alleged right now. There's a lot more going to come out. A whole lot more. I told you how law enforcement will talk. They'll talk eventually. You know, California's just funny. They don't ever talk at first. Look at Emmanuel Harrow's case. They don't really talk at first. I mean, we were looking for the girl from Hawaii for what, weeks, and they didn't talk. And they had the clip of her leaving and walking across that thing at the bus. You know, getting a bus ticket and all that. They don't let anything out until they get it figured out. And you know what? In a way, it's understandable. Like, you know, it bothers us that they're tight-lipped, but I think they should all be tight-lipped. As long as they're going to solve a case, tight-lipped is where you need to be. I know that doesn't help us, but it's not about us. It's about the victim. And we tend to lose sight of that, I think, in a lot of, and we want answers. We want answers so bad, but, you know, when you want answers, you just have to wait patiently. And think about, you know, Celeste. She has to wait patiently for answers, right? She's in heaven, and she's the one it happened to. I don't know if it's going to be pretty what comes out. I think this case is going to go sideways from heck. Well, what gets me the most is, how much did he pay her family? I'm just going to say it like this. How much did he pay the family for the daughter? That's what I want to know, because it seems like her family was taking money from this gentleman, which all that does is going to make it harder in court. That's the sad thing about this case. It was never going to end well from the start, before the car was even located. And there's so many wishy-washy stories about the car. People said it smelled like an animal, this, that. Well, that's not on any of the reports, but I get that they don't write down everything. This is what we talk about a lot. When you don't have good detectives, they don't write down all the information. A good detective would have wrote all that down, and there wouldn't be no confusion. That key would have been found during the investigation if it was right there. They should have searched every block and combed every block. This is why, if, you know, that Tesla key that was found, if it turns out to be the key to that car, somebody was moving that car around, and that's what I was told in the beginning, was the car kept moving around. And like it would move a little bit here, like someone knew they needed to move the car or else it would be towed. I think someone was smart enough to know that. But then, once they all left to go to tour, there was nobody to move the car. Because I'd still like to know what day he left for the tour. Did he leave on the 27th? Did he leave on, you know, the 26th of August? I don't know. I think he performed on the 27th of August. I haven't followed this case like crazy close, but I've done enough to know that it's a heartbreaking story that's going to have a crazy ass ending. Like, not like a Romeo and Juliet, like predator, family versus child. That seems to be what it's going to end like, and that's heartbreaking. Just like the Snelling case. In the beginning, what did we say? There's no way that this child was probably born and not with us. The thing is she hid this, and now we know. You know, that's like I always wonder. What did I say? The question is going to be, did her parents know? Because if her parents knew, she has a fighting chance in court. If her parents didn't know about this, and nobody knew about this but her, she don't have a fighting chance in court. Because that means she totally hid this from the start. Which means the outcome was what the outcome was always going to be. She didn't plan to ever let anybody know. And that's where she got caught. She got caught by her roommate. But I still think that was part of it. I think they knew. I don't think they're just going to go into a room and randomly just pick a closet and search it. Now, I don't know how these apartments are. Are they like off-campus housing where they're like the one my daughter has, where it's like an apartment, but yet it's part of the campus and owned by the school. I don't know how that works. Not really a dorm. It's just like what they use for grad students, kind of like Brian Koberger. Like, are those kind of apartments for athletes? You know, football players, volleyball, basketball, soccer. They all have different living areas for their athletes, especially scholarship athletes. And it's nicer than you think. It's almost like royalty. I know. I've been there. And is that what this was? You know, she was on the cheer team. So did they have separate areas where all the cheerleaders live, like to try to keep them together, right? That's what they usually try to do in these colleges nowadays. I don't know. I don't know how much they knew. I think they knew more than what they're saying. I really do. I don't think this was just let's go spy in her room type thing. No. I think she might have wanted them to call. I think she might have wanted to get caught at that point because she was probably going through way too much. I mean, I still don't know how she did this on her own and didn't. She's lucky she didn't end up like that baby. Like from loss of blood, right? It can be a really bad thing. I know. Believe me, I know. I mean, on our second one, we almost lost the mom on that one, you know? It was bad. Blood sugar shot down. I mean, blood pressure. It was really, really bad. They were freaking out. And I know that, and that was done in a hospital. I can't imagine doing it at home. 21 years of age, of course, you're younger. And you could probably spit them out like Tic Tacs. I don't know, but that's awful young. But to think that, how do you believe her? How do you believe this girl? That's where you get at. The cops, they're stuck against the wall. How do you believe her that she's even telling the truth? Like, and did this babe, you know, they're not saying they heard any cries, right? The roommates, they haven't said that we know of. They didn't hear this baby crying. I don't know. It would not shock me if she tried to keep the baby quiet, right? Like hand over the mouth, towel over the mouth, something soft maybe to try to keep this child from screaming loud to where the roommates didn't hear. Maybe that's what caused this to happen. I don't know that. I've been told that something seemed to have maybe been placed over the mouth of this child, but there's a lot of things you hear. We can't believe them all. But it would make sense in a way, I guess, if you're trying to hide something, you're going to cover it up. And it seems like what she did was to cover everything up. But just think about it this way. If she'd have taken that bag with her that morning when she left, nobody would ever know nothing. Wow. You know, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think these roommates know more. I think they know a whole lot more, to be honest. But that's me. You know, I'm not saying they're guilty of anything. I'm just saying I just don't see how they would have just went straight to a closet. Oh, yeah, let's go check her closet. Nah, unless that's where she hid things before from them. And they knew that's her hiding spot. I don't know that. I don't know what kind of roommate she was. Evidently, she was a bully, but I don't know if she's a bully, really. That's just what we're being told. You know, did she try to run over someone with her Jeep, trigger warning? I don't know that either. I'm not going to discredit people, because it's hard to discredit people by what she did to the child. If everything that's being said out here by nurses and everybody that spoke to this woman is true, if she heard a whimper, then yeah, like we all thought, this child was alive. And a whimper would tell me that maybe she did have something placed over this baby, like a towel to try to muffle the crying noise. I don't know. It makes sense, but it's just more heartbreaking. This child didn't have a name. This child didn't have a doctor. This child didn't have anything. It didn't have a shot at life, period. And it was just one big cover-up. It was the cover-up child is what this was. And karma is something else. So yeah, I think that justice will come in the end. I think the charges will be upgraded. I think this young lady might spend the rest of her life in prison. If what's being told to me is true, yeah, most likely she'll spend at least 35 years. I mean, it's a heartbreaking story, because so many people would have taken that child. There's so many couples out there looking to adopt. So many single parents out there looking to adopt, that want to give a child a better shot at life, that have the means to do so. Pre-college funds set up. There's waiting lists for miles for people that want children, guys. It's somebody would have taken that little baby boy. Heck, I would have taken the little baby boy. Just give it a shot at life. Don't put it in a closet. It hurts to think about that, because we're all God's children. And you know, one of our little brothers and sisters was taken out of this world that never had a name, that never had a shot at life. No name. Maybe in her mind she had one, maybe in her thoughts, but it doesn't seem like there's any man stepping up to the plate. So where's the father figure? If they really just did not know, then hey, if it turns out to be the one boy, the college athlete, then hey, at least they know who the father was. And then you're going to have his family's going to start fighting, because that was their grandchild that they never got to meet. It's only going to get worse for her from here. That's it. It's only going to get worse from here. There's no way around that. There's nothing to say about it other than it's going to get worse from here. But there's just so many other ones too. That's the thing. So many that we never even hear about. Why not? What makes certain cases make the spotlight? Right? Is it the pictures of the children? Is it just the titles of the stories? What grabs people in certain cases and not others? I've never understood that, but maybe I never will. All we know is that there was a child that was placed in a trash bag in a closet that was glued to the touch 4 or 5 hours later. That means that most likely this child had oxygen when it came out. And then, because they also say that I don't know, I'm not going to get into that yet because that hasn't come out, but we'll see what happens. There's evidently a possibility this child was maybe alive for an hour plus before something bad happened. Just a thought. So may justice prevail in this case. May this little baby boy that never got a shot at life get justice. May the families, the loved ones of this baby that never got to meet it, never knew it existed, the grandparents, how are they going to respond? That's now they're fighting for their daughter, when in a way they should be fighting for a grandchild they never got to meet. There's certain lines in life that you just don't cross, and if you look at this in a way, this is red rum no matter what, in some way, shape, or form. Do we understand it? Not really. I don't understand it. I don't understand how anybody could do that to a child, especially not a mother that just gave birth. But maybe I'll never understand it. So some people are cut out to be parents, some people aren't. Look at Katie Proudfoot. She's not cut out to be a mom. She never was. She had a total of what? Well, had a shot at having 3 kids in life and doesn't have one of them right now. So there's other people out there that do this. But still, all in all, it's like a maybe Emmanuel Horror. How could someone hurt a 7-month-old baby? Doesn't make sense to me. They're helpless. They can't fight back. They can't defend themselves. I never understood that. That Emmanuel Horror case, I never understood it at all. Why this man was allowed around children. Just like I don't understand why Chris Proudfoot was around Sebastian. I don't understand how CPS or Child Protective Services can be involved in these children's lives and these people are still allowed to be around him. Why was Daniel allowed to be around Jack and Lily Sullivan? Right? Because Malaya allowed it. Because Katie allows it. That's the thing. It's shocking and it's sad. It's like little Summer Wells. How come they waited to take the other brothers? Why didn't they take all these children before that happened? Right? That's the thing. It's almost like it's a fine line between, do you take these children? Are they really in that much danger? You know, of course that's a call that I would never have to want to make, but because these CPS workers that make these choices, they have to live with the ones they make. Think about it. If anybody has to live with the choices in a way of, I got to live with this on my mind, it's the ones that showed up when those teachers reported this child was being abused or whatever, or they think the child is being abused, or whether they know it or think it. When that worker, that caseworker shows up at that home to talk to that child, that's what determines the outcome, is that first initial bond. What does that CPS employee grab from that child? Do they see something that other people don't see? Do they, you know, there's a lot of kids saved in this world by CPS. There is. We can't knock that. Summer Wells' brothers were saved by them, I believe. I think they would have all disappeared eventually, or been sold eventually. I do believe that. Don is evil. So is Candace, in my opinion. Just like Grady and Chris are evil, in my opinion. Just like Lincoln Snelling, that's an evil woman, in my opinion. Sorry. Maybe 21, but still a woman. She's still evil to me. Put a baby in a trash bag. Take her one. Jaden Spicer's mom, that's evil. His stepdad is evil. I'm even going to go as far as Jack and Lily. I think both the parents are evil, to be honest. And the grandma's even eviler. Daniel's mom, in my opinion. There's just so many. It's like K-Ron's stepmom. I think that woman's got some serious issues. The list goes on and on. I still think Lamb King, that kid that was found in the pond, there was something going on within that home. I'm sorry, I do believe that. His mother had reached out too many times saying the weirdest things on social media. I need a break. I need something. Now you got a permanent break. You know, the little one that was up there, that was found with no clothes on, the little 5-year-old boy. Goodness gracious. Was it Caleb? I think it may have been Caleb. The one that was found with no clothes a mile from home. The little autistic boy, nonverbal. That they changed it and they decided to open it up as a homicide, and then they switched back after the autopsy results. I've always thought that child was placed there. There was tire tracks next to him. Remember, it matched the mom's tire tread. I don't know how that case got covered up the way it did. I never understood that one. No, Caleb was the little boy also that the father ran into the tree with the daughter and the wife in the car, and then the mom survived, remember, and now she's arrested, and her dad is arrested for not reporting little Caleb. That was the two, yeah, I remember that one now. There's just so many of them, right, that we have to go back and look at. That so many heartbreaks over a year this month of this channel. So many heartbreaks. too many of them. But where do we go from here on these cases, right? Because we're stuck on some, we're not stuck on others. Ones we can't change, we try to still could talk about them, right? Nikki McCann, I think that the road finally ended for Tyler McCann, and that I think he will go to prison for the rest of his life. I do. I think they got enough. Suzanne Simpson, I think that he will. Their house sold yesterday or the day before. Thank God. I've been worried about those kids having money. You know, we've given some money to that family and tried to help raise a lot of money for that family. We searched a lot for Suzanne Simpson out of San Antonio, Texas. And to know now that those kids have a trust fund worth $470,000 is a blessing. Truly amazing that judge released that and let them sell that home to make a fund for those kids, because that's what Suzanne would have wanted, her kids to have something. You know, yeah, it was a beautiful home, but it held nothing but bad memories. Some good, but the majority of them didn't seem good. I worry about the little 5-year-old that had to witness that. Thank God for her little bravery to step up and tell her teacher what her dad did to her mom. What a brave little girl. And to know now, yes, I didn't know. I was going to come on yesterday and do that, but I was working. But I've been on the shutdown for a few days. Sorry, guys. It happens. But yeah, just to know, you know, when I got word of that judge really let them sell that property. You know, they owed $668, I think, on the property still. It's like worth $1.4 million, but they sold it for $1.2 million. They paid off the house $600 and whatever thousand, and it left $470,000 after closing and everything for those children. You know, that's over $100,000 a child. That's not now. Well, you know, 5, 6 years old. By the time she's 18, that money will be a nest egg for that child, for college, for starting her life without a mother and without a father. You know, just with the grandmother, a retired teacher that's pulled every string she could to take care of those children. And the oldest, you know, she's a college girl and she's been helping too. Proud of her, proud of all of those kids. They show their Texas pride for sure. The heartbreaking story, and hopefully Suzanne can be found. We're not going to give up. We're still going to look. We're still going to search those areas of Bandera, Texas, and all around that landfill and the lake and other places. We're not giving up on her. We're going to keep looking. Her family deserves answers. Just like why we won't give up on Sebastian Rogers, it's the same thing. Too many deserve answers. We have to find these people. They're missing. And I know it's some of them seem impossible, but it doesn't matter. You still have to fight. We still have to search. We still have to look. We still have to dig, claw, scrape, beg for truth, it seems like, in some of these cases. Seems like we have to beg for truth, right? So as we go over all these cases, and there's going to be so many that come. That's the saddest part. Like if crime would stop today, man, be peace on earth, right? But it won't. And there's just so much that people don't know about so many cases, and some things we'll never know. But usually, if we go by our gut on a lot of these cases, seems right? And that's what you have to look at. All those cases we just talked about, y'all all have a gut feeling about them. And most likely your gut feeling was right on the majority of them, right? If not all of them. Some way or form your gut was right, or close to right, or a little bit off maybe, or right on. So what makes any of these other cases different? It doesn't. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say I do appreciate all y'all. I don't know. Still learning this stuff. It's not easy. It's not. Do I enjoy it? Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy YouTube a lot more, but it is finding the time always is tough. But maybe I should have waited till retirement to really do this, because that first few months, those first 4 or 5 months that I did, 3 months that I did not work, I took off to start this channel, seems like the best months, right? Because I was able to do so much. And you know, now Like I'm almost ready to retire and start searching full time. I think it would be good. I need to do something. Ruby's getting older. It's time to, get ready, I think, to do that. And to be able to just spend a week here, a week there, a week here, a week there, and really get into these searches and try to understand the case a lot better, maybe. I don't know. We want to learn too. Every day is a learning experience. Every search we do is a learning experience. And there's so many cases that need us, so many cases that need attention. We just touched the base of just a smidgen. And we've seen a lot of cases come and go. We've seen a lot of cases fade. Some fade quicker than others. Some grab fame bigger than others. Some grab headlines bigger than others. But Sebastian Rogers, that case has always stuck to me. And it didn't at first. It really didn't. Because I think I was focused on all the other cases, that I didn't just focus on one case. I don't know what they always said, once you get on this case, it's going to pull you in. And I didn't believe it. And sure enough, it pulled me in. I think it's because it feels like we know the truth, but we can't grab it. Right? Like it's up here in the air, and we just want to grab that truth and pull it out of the air. And say, look, see, this is right. I'm trying to think of other ways to get this case strong again, but it's just like nobody's talking about it. Very few people are talking about it anymore, and it makes it harder for me because, of course, we're just such a small little channel. We're like a little grain of salt, and a lot of people don't like the way I make videos, and that's okay. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Doesn't matter. Some people don't like the holy roller side of me. A lot of people don't like to watch that kind of stuff. They don't. Some people, I understand. Everybody's different. Their opinions are different. I just have always been one that thinks the power of prayer is important. I think it leads us in different directions if you truly believe it. I don't know. I've just always been one that felt that way. Like if you got God on your side, you got him on your side, right? Like talk to him. Pray to him, ask him. A lot of people don't believe that they should do that. And that's okay. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with people. That's why there's Catholic, there's Baptist, there's Presbyterian, there's Lutheran, there's non-denomination. There's just so many ways to pray. If you don't believe in something, what do you believe in? Nothing? Some people think that our choices are our choices and there's nobody to help pave the way, and it's possible that there's nobody to help pave the way, but you got to have somebody to communicate with, to talk to pray to ask for help. Ask for miracles every now and then when we need them. Lord knows we need a miracle in Sebastian Rogers' case, it looks like. Looks like these taunting parents got away with this. My opinion. Allegedly. Hey, that's a grain of salt. But anyway, guys, y'all know where I'm getting at. We're gonna go. We got some stuff we gotta do this morning. I'm off now for a couple of days. So remember I told y'all I should be off pretty quickly. I'll have 7 days to do what I need to do. So now we can get back to work. Time to get back to work. Right, Rube? Yep. Alright. Anyway, guys, we salute y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. We'll talk soon. We love y'all, guys. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Keep your prayers up for all the missing, all the runaways. They need our prayers. We'll talk soon. Y'all be safe. And remember, y'all's comments, y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. But we do our research together. Why? Because we're a big hearted little family here. We got big hearts here. I caught up with all y'all, and now I'm behind again, but it's okay. We were on a shutdown for like 36 hours, so I was pretty much couldn't have my phone. Or else, believe me, I would have been making videos. Y'all know that. But we'll get caught back up today and tomorrow. We'll see how tonight goes and how today goes. So with that said, allegedly, these are my thoughts and opinions. My free speech is really what it is. And just my alleged opinions of what I think could happen in these cases. I mean, it is what it is, but trigger warning is always, y'all know that, times 100 million, 500 million, however you want to look at it. And everyone's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And that is for sure. So we'll talk soon. What is it? What's the matter? I don't see anything. You never whine like that. What's the matter? You want to go? Bye-bye? Yes? Oh, you want to look for Sebastian, don't you? Sebastian? Oh, okay, you're jumping. All right. Y'all hear? She loves searching for Sebastian. Okay, we'll go tomorrow. We're already planning to go tomorrow. Okay. All right. She's grabbing her leash and running. She's ready to go search for Sebastian. Now she is. All right, guys. We'll talk soon. We love y'all. Y'all be good. Be safe. Hold on, boo. I got to hang up. All right, guys. We'll talk soon. Be safe. Come here, boo. All right, bye.